It's not for us to have shame. It's for them.
I will say one thing that is going to be hard here is that a lot of these things are going to be shielded by privilege.
Ryan Reynolds is stunned after Blake Lively's latest scandal went public, and honestly, who can blame him? After being exposed for filing a fake lawsuit against Justin Baldwin, Blake is now rumored to be involved with Stephanie Jones.
Lies. You weren't even nude. You are a liar.
Blake has managed to involve herself in nearly every possible scandal, and Ryan clearly isn't a fan of it. Also,
To mention Blake at the summit as he swerves these questions about the negative headline.
what's going on with Ryan Reynolds showing up solo and polished at the Time 100 summit? Where was the Blake Lively spotlight moment everyone expected? Some red carpet PDA or a playful joke about their parenting chaos? Instead, all we got was Ryan, alone.
Didn't actually say anything about Blake Lively.
And not even a single mention of his so-called better half.
Well, let's hear his response.
You don't know. It's like Tina Fey says, if you're feeling good about yourself, just go online. You know.
I mean, that's true.
Yep, the man famous for his witty remarks and clever one-liners stayed oddly silent about Blake. And, as you'd expect, the internet completely lost its mind.
Yeah, I didn't become part, my career was an aggregate. It was very slow, so I didn't have that, overnight success.
It gets even stranger. Blake wasn't just a possible +1. She was actually on the Time 100 list, that elite group of overachievers who make the rest of us feel unproductive.
It was in the midst of a mental breakdown, which I would be offended too if one of my coworkers was trying to say that I was drinking and gambling because it's so far from who I am. Like, maybe get your money back from your psych.
She was officially named one of the most influential people of 2020, yet skipped the one event where everyone would have celebrated her greatness. Feels a bit off, like buying tickets to your favorite band's concert and the lead singer never shows up.
This is something they reiterate a lot. We disagree, here's why, but worst case scenario, if we lose, we are allowed legally to go make an amendment, and we should at least be doing that.
Cue the rumor mill. Are they splitting up? Did Ryan somehow leave her behind on the way out?
Here's Ryan Reynolds giving a pep talk to Blake before she's about to give her speech. Look at how cute they are. Oh, he's such a perfect man. Oh.
Some are convinced there's a huge neon divorce sign flashing behind closed doors.
Ever harassed her a single day. She's a psychopath, and she's made this stuff up. She's making this stuff up because she wanted to wrest control of the movie away from me.
Add to that Ryan's total refusal to mention Blake during his summit appearance, and you've got a full-blown speculation circus. Not even a sly joke or a "she's at home with the kids" comment. It's as if Blake didn't exist. Minnie.
I'm uncomfortable. I'm visibly uncomfortable watching them sort of force themselves through events.
Then there's Megyn Kelly. She took a flamethrower to Blake's image by claiming that her lawsuits and legal drama are just a twisted attempt to exploit the Me Too movement. Never heard of it? Kelly's hot take sent shockwaves, with some people gasping in disbelief while others, like me, were left thinking, maybe she's onto something. The Minnie.
Once again, Mark, the problem is her allegations in her complaint do not seem to match up with not just what Justin's saying, but with what independent people who have no axe to grind with Blake Lively are saying.
But here's the kicker. Kelly's comment came at the perfect time, fueling the "Where's Blake?" fire. Now, everyone's viewing her absence not just as a personal choice, but as part of some shadowy PR chess game.
Like this company, Van Zandt, tried to go and gather evidence against Justin Baldoni before this lawsuit was properly filed.
But that's all because Blake Lively's latest scandal has come to light, and it's Van Zandt. It's the corporate thriller we never knew we were getting into. You might think this is just another business drama, but no, Van Zandt is delivering all the plot twists. It dates back to 2008 when some shady Delaware filings surfaced. By 2010, California courts were flooded with lawsuits against the company. Enter Eric Rothschild, a man with more aliases than a Marvel villain. He's allegedly, behind some shady moves, dodging legal trouble like it's an Olympic sport. Oh, Minnie.
You do not file a complaint if you don't know the name of the person that you are suing, unless you're trying to protect that person's identity for some reason, which, if you're pissed off enough to sue them, you probably don't care about their identity.
Fast forward to Ryan and Blake entering the scene. They reportedly took over Van Zandt LLC after it went inactive, and that's where things start to smell fishy. Did they think no one would notice? Well, they were wrong, because TikTok sleuths are now in control.
This website seems to be associated with their company, Van Zandt, which is associated with the potentially fraudulent lawsuit that was filed last year that may have been filed to potentially skirt the legal process and obtain certain communications that I believe Blake Lively and others wanted in connection with the Justin Baldoni-Blake Lively saga.
Apparently, a second Van Zandt Inc. mysteriously popped up in 2019, and people are calling it a classic shell game move. Corporate drama meets true crime vibes. Honestly, it's Netflix series material.
Ellis accuses Blake of falsely lumping his firm into the allegations she made against Baldoni.
Let's not forget the lawsuits. Ryan and Blake are knee-deep in allegations, ranging from financial misconduct to toxic workplace claims. It's like someone grabbed a corporate crime handbook and checked off every chapter. People are now questioning how much Ryan and Blake knew about the company's shady past, and whether they knowingly dove into murky waters for profit. Suddenly, that picture-perfect Hollywood couple image seems a little tarnished.
Yeah, I think we've noticed over the past couple of weeks even there have been a few clips that have come out of the woodwork essentially about Ryan that sleuths have found with some kind of problematic moments. And then there's also been the whole kid pool controversy, which definitely doesn't make him look great either.
But wait, it gets juicier. Eric Rothschild, the original puppet master of Van Zandt, has been accused of using different identities to dodge accountability. And here's where it gets surreal. Rothschild's ties to the company didn't just disappear after Ryan and Blake took over. Some are whispering that he's still pulling the strings, using the couple as a Hollywood smokescreen. If that's true, this could be the biggest case of celebrity distraction tactics we've seen in a while. Now mix all this corporate chaos with the fact that Blake is battling lawsuits on all fronts, and you start to see why her absence at the Time 100 events feels like more than just a scheduling conflict. Is she avoiding the public eye because she's planning her next legal move, or is this all one big PR stunt to keep the spotlight on Ryan while Blake rides out the storm?
Abel's new filing also accused Jones of making bizarre claims about Abel to her staff based on supposed information from psychic reading.
And poor Ryan. He just wanted to attend a fancy summit, look sharp in a suit, and crack a few jokes. To minimize.
Now junkets, and he can claim jokes or whatever, but to pull random quotes of Justin talking about his teenage years and his growth and maturity and to try to use against him to label him a predator, which none of the quotes did. I actually applaud them for, even though they're not supposed to do it, for making the point to be like, nice try, Reynolds, you have your own quotes.
Instead, he's walking into a media frenzy with everyone dissecting his every move and word. And that's why Ryan is in a full meltdown after another scandal involving Blake surfaces.
If she were to voluntarily give internal communications between Stephanie Jones and Baldoni to a third party, regardless of the purpose of whether being asked for, that would be a violation of that confidentiality agreement.
So, what's next in this saga? More lawsuits? A tell-all interview? A plot twist where Rothschild turns out to be a secret agent? At this point, anything's possible. All we know is that the Reynolds Lively empire isn't as squeaky clean as it once seemed, and the drama isn't slowing down anytime soon. Stay tuned because this story is far from over, or omini.
Flag number 2, the context of the complaint are almost nil. There's really, it's like there's no really actual facts.
Let's talk about workplace drama, so juicy it makes reality TV look tame. Enter Stephanie Jones and Jennifer Ale, two names locked in a legal smackdown so bizarre you'd think Shonda Rhimes scripted it. The Omini.
So by talking to some other folks, I've learned that there was a confidentiality agreement between Stephanie Jones and Baldoni.
Jennifer accuses Stephanie of stealing data and being, well, an absolute nightmare to work with. And when I say nightmare, I don't mean the kind where you show up to work in your pajamas. I mean psychic predictions, public humiliation, and a playlist so loud it probably broke noise ordinances. Umini.
Baldoni 41's movie company Wayfair and his publicist for It Ends With Us, for the film It Ends With Us, Jennifer Abel, both filed new claims, including a violation of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, breach of contract, defamation, and fraud against Jones.
Apparently, Stephanie wasn't just managing the team. She was moonlighting as a psychic, predicting doom and gloom for Jennifer in front of everyone. Umini.
Accused Jones of snooping on Abel's private messages all the way up until January of this year. Yes, guys, January of 2025.
Jennifer wasn't about to let Stephanie's psychic hotline act slide. she fired back with a lawsuit, citing the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. Now, if you thought that was dramatic, buckle up, because Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are allegedly dabbling in a bit of fraud themselves. Yep, Mr. and Mrs. Hollywood Perfect might have a few skeletons rattling around their walk-in closet.
This whole thing is just shocking to me. It's shocking to me how they're now part of the Time 100 of this year as a Titan for a donation they made that they were using to cover their own racistness.
Let's start with Blake's anti-trafficking charity, which some people claim might be less about saving the world and more about saving face.
Because she got married on a plantation. Now, her and Ryan Reynolds have gone out there and tried to combat this narrative. They've been out there a while now, apologizing for the plantation wedding. What we saw at the time was a wedding venue on Pinterest. What we saw after was a place built upon devastating tragedy.
There are whispers that the charity is a shell company, designed to look noble on the outside while hiding some shady dealings underneath. And here's where it gets extra weird. Articles about the charity have mysteriously disappeared, leaving behind nothing but broken links and conspiracy theories. It's like the internet decided to ghost them. And then there's the Van Zandt connection. Remember that corporate enigma we talked about earlier? Turns out Van Zandt might be linked to another company called Response Makers, which, spoiler alert, is not winning any awards for ethical business practices. People are digging up receipts that suggest shady dealings between these entities, with Blake and Ryan allegedly right in the middle of it all.
It's wild how she is tripling down and continuing to try to paint herself as a victim, as now the actual witnesses are coming forward and be like, no, nice try, girl. Not anymore. I can't sit back in silence. I gotta defend Justin, and I gotta defend myself.
But wait, there's more. Amid the Justin Baldwin lawsuit, there are accusations that Blake and Ryan have been playing legal chess, using corporate entities to sidestep accountability. It's like Monopoly, but they're allegedly buying loopholes instead of buying Boardwalk. And while they're out here dodging legal bullets, the rest of us are just trying to figure out how not to get charged extra for guac at Chipotle.